Hi friends, I'm Scott Giles, and welcome to Power Talk, my podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I cover topics related to spirituality, hypno-coaching, and the hypnotic arts and sciences generally. If you'd like to know more about my professional work or sign up for my free e-newsletter, Power Lines, check out my website, which I'll tag at the end of this video. Today I want to talk about something that philosophers call Grande Theory, and that Grande is spelt Grande. These are theories about the world that can be used to explain anything and everything. No matter what is observed or being talked about, it can be explained in terms of a grand theory. Now that may sound opaque, so here are some popular grand theories that you may already know about. Freudian psychoanalysis. Intended as the first scientific theory of personality, the theory created by Sigmund Freud about human awareness is all-encompassing. Now, a gross oversimplification, but basically, Freud believed that everything was about sex except sex. Sex was about power. How is that a grand theory? Well, if we assume that everything is either convex or concave, then everything can be understood as some sort of reference to a sex organ. If a person likes a banana, that's because they're seeking to possess a penis or trying to compensate for one that isn't satisfactory. If someone likes soft and creamy food, well, that's a hidden desire for sexual fluids. If someone enjoys cooking, it's because they're expressing the desire to create offspring, and on and on and on. Anything can be explained in terms of psychoanalytic theory. Another popular ground theory is Marxist economic philosophy. Everything is actually about work, and work is about the desire by some to control and take advantage of other people. When I was a student of philosophy at the University of Connecticut, from which I hold my bachelor's and master's degrees, Marxism was the doctrine among the faculty of the philosophy department. Oh, they taught other things: metaphysics, ethics, ontology, empiricism, logic, the history of ideas, all the things which form the canon of modern philosophical learning, but the doctrine that the faculty believed in was Marxism, and they held that to be the true key to understanding the world. They dismissed the obvious political and economic dysfunction of communism as a poorly implemented Marxism, and believed that the way to resolve the great philosophical questions was to submit them to Marxist analysis. I didn't agree, but that didn't matter. I was, after all, going to take my doctoral degree at another university, and so my heresy was therefore tolerated because everyone knew I was going to go away. These days in science, physicists are trying to find their own ground theory, which they call the theory of everything. The one unified explanation that reconciles all of the scientific data we know, things like quantum theory, gravity, string theory, the hypothesis of dark matter and dark energy, and so on. Now, grand theories, and I've just named a few of them, there are thousands, sound good, except that such theories are seldom really useful. They explain everything while predicting nothing because they are basically circular, and that's the problem. When concocting a grand theory, you basically start off having your theory before you make any observations. Then you make all your observations in terms of your theory, and lo and behold, all your observations therefore support your theory. Let me give you a nonsense example as a way of illustrating this problem. Let me propose that the ultimate goal of all living creatures is to fall asleep. Now, of course, that's nuts, but bear with me. You see all those people who play football or other sports who chase a ball around and crash into each other and other things? Well, they're really only doing that because they're trying to tire themselves out so they will sleep more soundly. They don't realize that, but that's the deeper motivation. You see all those other people who trudge off to work every day? Well, the only reason they're going to work is so they can use up the daylight hours and bring themselves closer to the end of the day when they can go to bed. Work is just a pastime in their sleep seeking. And then we have the armies of the world engaged in attack or defense. But we really know that the reason they're doing all of these things is because the stress of it tires them out, and they will therefore sleep more soundly. You get the idea? I examine all the evidence from the perspective of my theory, and then everything supports my theory. Now, I used sleep seeking in this example, but I could have used anything that people routinely already do. The desire to eat, the desire for sex. Well, actually, Freud already did that one, didn't he? The accumulation of money. Marx did that, didn't he? The need to please God. Well, I think the institutional church has that one covered, or any of a long list of other things. The point to get is that theories about the world that seem to explain everything in a comprehensive way are seldom meaningful. They provide the illusion of understanding, but little to no actual knowledge. As I said, they explain everything while allowing you to predict nothing of importance. Now here's why this is meaningful. All of us, myself included, would like to believe that complicated and messy issues have simple answers. I don't believe they do. But Grande Theory gets its energy from the desire to have simple answers to complicated problems, because that makes people more confident, less anxious, easier to think about. So the government's a mess. Well, demonize one particular political party or elect a dictator. That's way easier than thinking or experimenting. Crime is out of control. Well, let's ban guns, as if criminals would care about what you ban. The youth of the nation are in trouble. Get that sex education out of the schools, and on and on and on. But none of these simple answers will actually solve complex problems, as we've seen over and over. The reality is that complex problems almost always have complex and nuanced solutions, and even these don't work all the time, given how creative people can be in finding new ways to mess up. So don't buy the con. If someone is trying to convince you that they know how to solve all the problems, they are most likely trying to sell you on some version of a Grande Theory. It may sound good, but it won't actually do anything useful. So be smarter than them, because I don't think there are easy solutions to anything. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. I'd like to invite you to join me. It does help me if you let others know about my work and my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe. If I can be of help to you, feel free to reach out through email, my website, or Patreon channel. Have a great week.